we don't really shoot in a studio, we don't really shoot indoors too much. So for the most part, we need something that moves around with us. So today, guys, we are gonna feature something that I've spoken about that we wanted to talk about quite a bit or in a few videos. It is the Godox UL-Octa Box 60. It's quite a long name, so that's why I'm reading it right off of here. What it is, it's a 23.5, I think, so about 24-inch softbox. We've been using it for a bunch of shoots this year, if I'm being honest. At first, when Godox sent this over to us, I wasn't so sure if we were going to use it a lot because we typically don't use larger modifiers because larger modifiers are more of a pain in the behind to transport. And that's where this thing came along, where it was a home run in our eyes because it's very easy to transport, as you guys are seeing with how easy it is to close. I believe it is about 24-inch softbox, dictates 60 centimeters, but America. So, you know, I'm going to tell you guys in inches. The way it works, just like you guys saw, there's a little piece in there that you extend and then it clicks, and that's the way that it expands. Once it's expanded, you want to close this so that way there's no light spilling. And we have it with the Bowens mount. So with the Bowens mount, we have to use the S3 bracket, which we've been using a lot as well. With the AD200, we have to take off the MagMod modifiers in order to be able to fit it here. If you have the MagMod modifier, it's not going to fit. And yeah, you're just going to be wrestling and it's not going to work. It is a little finicky to put on here, so you guys are seeing like I'm kind of struggling with it a little bit. So one thing you can do, unzip it, grab it like this, and then you line it up and then twist. There we go, and now it's on. So once it's on, it's not gonna come off unless you pull this little guy right here. When you pull this, you'll be able to twist it, and now you'll be able to pull it right back out. And then to close it, you have the little knobs where you press, and then watch yourself, it's gonna expand like that, or not expand, it's gonna go the other way. So it's gonna contract like that. It has a little Velcro thing that you attach so it doesn't expand as you're moving it around. It also comes with deflector plate, I believe that's what it's called. So you put that on the inside, you twist it, and the flash is now gonna hit this, expand back towards the softbox, and then shoot light back out. I was told by one of you guys, or one of our subscribers, that we were putting it this way and they were saying that to do it this way because it kind of shoots light out the other way. To be quite honest, I didn't really see too much of a difference, but again, some people are a lot more meticulous and a lot more picky than we are. So try it both ways. It has a way to screw it on both ways, so whichever way works for you, that's good. If you're using the Fresnel head like this, what we usually do when we shoot with the softbox and we know we're going to be shooting strictly with the softbox is we end up switching it to the Barebulb head. So we just go over here, and I think we need to move it forward in order to do that. If you have an AD200, you know that there's a little thing here, and then you go up or down. There we go, there it is. Then you look for where the teeth are. You line up the teeth, you line up the little knobs there, and then you slide it down. Make sure it's tight. There we go. And now, when you put the softbox on, you won't have to put that deflector plate to bounce the light around, because with the Barebulb, it's just going to spread all the way around and it's going to throw light forward. So you shouldn't, in theory, have that hot spot on them with the softbox. The softbox also comes with a Velcro grid that you Velcro all the way around on the outside of it. And just like any grid, if you guys know what a grid does, is it channels light in a certain area without spilling all over the place. Now, we rarely use this because we're usually shooting outside. So if we're shooting outside, we're not really too concerned with light spilling around too much because it's not going to be so obvious as if you're shooting inside. If you're shooting inside, it's going to spill everywhere, and if you want to control it, then you attach with the Velcro around the circumference of the softbox. So that's what that's for, and that's why we don't use it as much, because we don't really use this too much indoors. We use it more outside, as you guys are seeing in some of these shots. So today, we're going to be starting in this little area. If you guys follow the channel, it's an area in Palos Verdes that we found just right on the side of the road. But the lighting is always really beautiful if you come around and come to the right area where the sun is behind your subject. So we're going to start shooting here, a little maternity session today. Again, if you follow the channel, there's another maternity session. There's an engagement session that we shot here. And then after this, we're going to go to Neptune Fountain or down by the cove by the water. I sent them some sessions that we've done so they can let me know which look is better for them. But in any case, this is a softbox. I wanted to feature it because I've spoken about it multiple times. I think this is a pretty good breakdown as far as how it works, how we use it. And yeah, I mean, it's a significant difference because you're talking about a lighting difference about 24 inches. We're just gonna round it off, right? This is a good comparison right here. Keep in mind, guys, that lighting is gonna be softer if the size of it is bigger. So when you look at, if you're shooting with just a Fresnel head like that versus this size, obviously it's gonna be a lot softer. They make bigger ones.
That's what she said.
But for us, I don't really want to use that because then it just becomes so big and cumbersome that at that point, it just becomes annoying to use. So I think that this is a nice happy medium where you can travel with it really easily, but also gives you very nice soft lighting. Okay, and then one thing I forgot to mention, guys, it comes with an inner and outer diffuser like sheet. Honestly, we've never used it because I feel like with the Barebulb flash, with it spreading all over the place, or if you use the deflector plate, I feel like it's enough for it not to be necessary. Now, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. If you think it makes like a 50% difference and it's so much softer with it, let me know if I'm wrong and I'm happy to experiment with that. But for me, I've never really found that to be that helpful. And I feel like it does kill a little bit of the intensity. So to me, it just makes more sense to put the Barebulb and let it spread all over the place and send that nice soft light forward. So I just wanted to mention that because I forgot to mention it before. So one thing that we were just discussing as we were wrapping up, the reason we don't like using the deflector plate with the Fresnel head is we didn't really see that much of a difference, and really we're losing a little bit of power, I think, because it's going forward, then going back, and then going back out. When you put the Barebulb head on, you're not losing any power and it's spreading everywhere. So instead of having to do extra steps, in my opinion, by putting that plate in front of the flash and then letting it bounce and then going back, I'd rather just put what we have right now, which is the Barebulb head, and then just letting it spread. I feel like it's just an easier way of doing it. And then, like I said, just always have the extra head with you, because for the MagMod stuff, this obviously works. It doesn't work with that. But I just wanted to mention that. I would go with the Barebulb head with a softbox, and then when you need to use modifiers like grid, like CTO, like all that, then you go back to the Fresnel head. All right, guys, so we just wrapped up very successful shoot with the softbox. We used it for a few more shots than I was expecting. For example, we were walking by the staircase area and the lighting looked nice from a distance, but as soon as you got close to it and she got close to it, I noticed that it was way too like overhead, but not, it just didn't look good. She was getting raccoon eyes and it was just not good lighting, and it was too bright behind her because the light was hitting more in the back. So at that point, even though I told Alexis we weren't going to use the softbox, I made him run back to the car to get the softbox just for that shot because I knew it was going to look better with that light. So we used it there. Then we absolutely used it here at the sunset spot. We did have to have our assistant in the shot for a few of them. So in post, we're gonna have to remove him, and it's not a big deal. One thing that when you do that technique is make sure that you're intentional about where you put the light stand. Don't put it in an area where now you gotta recreate and rebuild the sun. So one thing that I was doing, I was trying to avoid the softbox covering the sun. It was a little bit to the side, so that way when I remove it, it should be pretty easy because the sky and the ground was pretty easy. It wasn't crazy patterns. Other than that, softbox performed as expected. Very soft lighting, very nice lighting. And using the Barebulb definitely has a different effect, at least it looks like it to me, than using the Fresnel. The Fresnel does give you a little bit of a hot spot. This is a lot softer overall. So let me know what you guys think. I didn't think I was gonna like that softbox as much as I do. And for the price, I believe right now on Amazon it's like 60 bucks. I think it's great. Here's a thing that I was gonna mention earlier and I forgot. A lot of you may ask, why not get a bigger softbox? You can, because it's not that expensive. You can get one that's way bigger than the one that we're using. But we're talking about something that's a little bit more mobile, something that we can walk around with and take on location. For us, everything is more on location. We don't really shoot in a studio. We don't really shoot indoors too much. So for the most part, we need something that moves around with us. If we're shooting a wedding and we're in a hotel room, sometimes the hotel rooms aren't that big, so you don't want such a big softbox that's now gonna knock things over or just be annoying, right? So I think that 24-inch softbox is more than enough for what we need to give us a good quality while still being very versatile and portable. If you guys enjoy our content, if you enjoyed and learned anything, or if you wanna contribute to the conversation, please feel free to leave a comment, subscribe, and we're just gonna keep posting. All right, guys, have a good night.